East Lansing, Notre Dame quarterback Brandon Wimbush slipped out of a sack attempt by Michigan State's Brandon Randle, reversed course and had open field in front of him. The redshirt sophomore galloped 32 yards before stepping to his right and out of bounds. Just as he was giving himself up, Michigan State safety Matt Morrissey dove and contacted Wimbush just below the hip, sending him careening down the home team sideline. It wasn't an egregious penalty on Morrissey, but still resulted in a personal foul and 15 yards tacked onto the end of the run. "It was a close call," Morrissey said. "It's tough to slow down, but I've got to be smarter on that play and maybe lay off him so we don't get that 15-yarder. It was a debatable penalty, but far from the only infraction on Michigan State, and some of them were obvious. After committing just 7 penalties for 55 yards in the first 2 games combined, Michigan State was flagged 9 times, including 4 personal fouls, for 97 yards in Saturday's 38-18 loss to Notre Dame. The penalties were part of a sloppy performance for Michigan State following a bye week. The Spartans, 2-1, who also had 3 turnovers against the Fighting Irish, will host Iowa, 3-1, on Saturday, 4 p.m. him.The Fox, in East Lansing. "Obviously, we don't want to get those type of penalties," Michigan State defensive backs coach and co-defensive coordinator Harlon Barnett said. "That's way too many. Obviously, we need to get that cleaned up, not something that's being coached or anything like that." Three of Michigan State's personal fouls came on hits against Wimbush, and the first 3 flags against the Spartans in the game were personal fouls. Left guard Tyler Higby was whistled for unnecessary roughness for a hit on safety Nick Coleman after the play was dead. Defensive end Kenny Willekes was flagged for roughing the passer against Wimbush, and linebacker Andrew Dowell was penalized for unnecessary roughness for hitting Wimbush after he'd already handed off the ball to Josh Adams. "You don't like to see them, but at the same time, those come from playing physical," Michigan State senior center Brian Allen said. "So, just clean it up a little bit, be a little more mature about it and move forward." "It's good to have guys trying to finish. If the penalties come, you got to learn from those, but it's good having guys trying to go after people, but you've got to do it in between the whistles." Allen, a 3-year starter and team co-captain, committed 2 penalties himself on the same series, a false start and a hold. The Spartans finished with 3 holding calls and were whistled for lining up offsides on a 3rd and 1 in which they stuffed the Fighting Irish. "Yeah, they're frustrating," Michigan State coach Mark Dantonio said. "It's 3rd and 1, we stop them for a loss, we line up offsides." "You can't line up offsides. You realize that when you first start playing football,